Hello and welcome to a brand new show called NBA 365. I'm your host, Jack Esco, and today on the show we're going to talk about Donald Sterling. Was the punishment too harsh? Was the punishment just right? We're also going to talk about the Pacers and their historic collapse. What's going to be next for the Pacers? So let's get going. So Donald Sterling, he was in a bit of a trouble. He said some things he shouldn't have, and he got justly punished for them. He made some racial comments, and Adam Sliver came down today, and he threw down the hammer, and rightly so. He threw down the hammer with a punishment of a lifetime ban from the NBA and a $2.5 million fine, which will later be given to charities from the black community. I think this was a great move for Adam Sliver. This is his first big statement move that he has had to made coming into the commissioner's role. I think this was huge, absolutely huge for him to do this. He had to make a statement move, and he did with this kind of a ruling. I think this was huge for the NBA. You have to make a precedent that this will not be allowed in the NBA, nowhere, no how. And this was unbelievable. A great move by Adam Sliver, a rookie commissioner, looking like a veteran in his press conference. Way to go, Adam Sliver. Kudos. He could have done a better job with the interview. He did a great job, answered questions very correctly, and he did a great job. So, great job to him. Now, the Pacers are going to be one of the biggest collapses of all time if they lose Game 6. It would be huge. Roy Hibbert is shooting 31.2% from the field in the playoffs. That is unacceptable for a big man. Unacceptable. When last playoffs you were shooting 51%. Just a whole change. This year in the playoffs, Roy Hibbert is averaging 4.8 points per game in the 5 games. 4.8 in 5 games. Last year in the playoffs, 17 points. 17 points. What's gone wrong with Roy Hibbert? Well, for one thing, I believe he's lost his confidence. When things don't go in, I believe that he just crumbles. I believe he just curls up, and I don't think he really just gets it together. I don't think he really, all right, things aren't going. I'll make some buckets coming down here, and I'll be fine. He doesn't do that. He just balls up, and he just goes, all right, well, throwing away this game. This game's not going to work. That's one of the Pacers' problems. Another problem is after the Danny Granger trade, during the trading deadline, they've gone downhill. My reasoning, he was probably a really good teammate guy in the locker room because he was injured during the time they traded him. So he must have been a good locker room guy, good guy in the locker room, because ever since that trade, they've never been the same team, chemistry-wise, on and off the court. They just haven't been there. Yeah, you might see some smiles during some games that they've won without Granger, but it still has never been the same without him. And I think that was a huge loss for them, even though he wasn't doing it consistently on the floor. They still lost a big presence in the locker room. Another one, it's Paul George. Paul George, he's done everything in the series for the Pacers, and it's just no one's helping him out. No one's helping him out, and it's a bit of a shame when you think about it. With no one helping him, he's averaging 23 points a game, and nobody else is averaging 15 points. You have David West with, I beg your pardon, Paul George is averaging 22.6. and nobody else is averaging 15 points. You have Lance Stevenson with 13.6 and David West with 13.2, and nobody else is averaging 15 points per game. It's just not right. And, he needs help. He just needs help, and nobody else is doing the things that they need to do to get the job done. And it's just, not what you're looking for in a team to beat the Heat or to do anything deep in the Eastern Conference playoffs. And I just can't see the Pacers winning 2 more games in a row. They're spiraling out of control, and this isn't good for them. I was looking at Larry Bird's face when I was watching the game, and he was just like, changes will be made, I guarantee you, during the offseason. Changes will be made. Just the look on his face, just that face was worth 1,000 words, because I can just tell, this roster will not be the same come next offseason, or come the next regular season. Things will be different, because this is absolutely ridiculous. You were considered a title contender near the beginning of the year, near the All-Star game. Frank Vogel coached the Eastern Conference, and you got the first seed because Miami gave it to you, and you just did nothing with it. And you've just been underachieved this whole season, and it's been a monumental collapse. And I just can't believe I'm saying this about the Pacers, because they were rolling along this whole season, and that Danny Granger trade really screwed them over. And my goodness, they've been terrible ever since that trade. So that was the new NBA 365 show I've did. Hopefully I'll do a lot more. You got me and only me. I will be doing shows. I'll be putting them on YouTube, Facebook. So make sure you look at those shows. Follow me on Twitter and like this show on Facebook. All right. This is NBA 365, and keep balling. All right.